Welcome to your Be Well Fit warm-up. We're going to get right into it. It's about 10 to 15 minutes of work where you're going to be doing about 5 reps of every single exercise and approximately 20 exercises. Everything's going to be demonstrated by my friend Laurie. Let's get started. So you're going to join me on the mat here, Laurie, in your 4-point position. You're going to walk your hands just one handstand further up the mat and then drop back into child's pose for me. Awesome. We're going to stick here and take a nice big diaphragmatic breath, and then you're going to pull forward and drop into your modified plank from your knees. So you're going to pull forward, allow your hips to swing through. If you need to walk your hands out a little further when you do that, that's totally fine unless you feel comfortable. It seems like you need to get a little bit further, keeping the shoulders down and the belly engaged. You're going to completely collapse from there. You're going to do that 4 more times. So you're going to inhale, push back, drop your hips back towards your heels, overhead stretch. Very nice. And then on the exhale, you're going to pull forward so you can sort of marry the breath in that way. You're going to inhale, come on back again, and as you do, really allow the diaphragm to stretch, so hold the breath at the top, and exhale, swing your hips forward, dropping the shoulders down, lifting the breastbone and keeping the belly lifted. Good, one more time. Inhale, push back, sitting back, and exhale. Very nice. Gorgeous. You're going to come into your 4-point position, so swing your hips back until this side, right over your knees and move your hands back. It's just a little bit more forward actually, so the hips stack beautiful. Okay, from here you're going to take it down, diaphragmatic breath, and then you're going to flex through the spine. So you're going to curl into your cat stretch position, so tuck your pelvis under and really lift your ribs, looking down in between your thighs. I'm going to stay just here for 5 breaths. The focus is going to be taking a nice big inhale, getting the rib cage to expand. And exhale, on the exhale, I want you to think about lifting the ribs and tucking the pelvis and pushing out through the shoulder blades. So just continue that breath cycle. So it's inhale and exhale, tuck and lift. Keep looking down between the thighs. Inhale, expand. Exhale, tuck. Of course, when you're thinking about the expansion, you're definitely thinking into the back. So it naturally happens because of the body position, right? But also thinking about flaring the ribs to the side. You have 2 more breaths. Flex, lovely, 1 more time. So I want to feel my hands lift. Yeah, nice, good. And exhale. Lovely. Good. From here, you're going to come up into your tall kneeling position. Great. Walk your knees together, and then step 1 foot forward into the lunge position and go through feet. Great. Okay. Awesome. From there, just pulling up nice and tall. You're going to create genie arms with your arms. So crossing them out in front of you. And you're just going to think, tuck the pelvis, squeeze your left hip in this scenario, and press the hip forward. I'm just going to hold it here for a 5 count. So you're squeezing the buttocks, tucking the pelvis, just opening up through the hips, holding it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Letting your hips drift back. Go ahead and step back into your tall kneeling position. Wonderful. Stepping your opposite foot forward. Yeah, great. Okay, and then repeating. So just let your hips drift back a little bit more. Tuck your pelvis, yeah, squeeze the glutes, and press forward. Beautiful, and holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let the hips drift back. Step back into your tall kneeling position again. Beautiful, and then walk your hands back down into the 4-point position. Good, very nice. We're going to go into bird dog. So let's just do an arm only to begin. So you're going to try and maintain this position, hips need to be a little bit more forward. There. Can you tell, you can probably feel that your abs are more engaged when your hips stack directly up over your knees. Whenever they drift back, you'll feel that you're not using your abs as much. Right. It's not like they're a massive on and off switch, it's just that little bit more engagement when you're a bit more forward. So again, you're just going to pull slightly more forward. When you do that, make sure you're pulling your shoulders down. Love it. Okay, so let's just go left arm only. You're going to lift your left arm up and overhead. Really nice. Okay, now without changing this position, I want you to slide your right leg down the mat. Really nice. Okay, and then see if you can lift that leg off as well. Gorgeous. So the point of the bird dog is not necessarily the range of motion of the arm and the leg. The point of the bird dog is that you don't collapse through your lower back. So we're keeping a nice solid middle. And then go ahead and return to the stop position. Let's just do 5 repeater on that same side so you can really walk in that movement. So take an inhale to prepare. You're going to brace first and then go ahead and extend left arm, right leg. Very nice. And then return to the mat. 3 more times. Take a breath. Exhale, lift. Inhale to return. Good. 2 more times. Inhale to return. Really nice. Excellent. Okay, let's just switch sides. So I'm gonna just look at you from above here. The hips are beautiful. When you're ready, inhale to prepare. Exhale, the right arm out and extend the left leg, activating that left hip. Beautiful. And then return back down to the mat. Continuing on, following your own breath pattern. I am just noticing these legs going a little bit wide, a little bit turned out. So just see if you can turn it to the floor and hug your midline a little bit more. There. Yeah, beautiful. Good. Okay. And then return to the mat. That's really common, and you know, having somebody watch you, it might be hard to tell if you're doing that, but you can just think about hugging the midline or squeezing your inner thigh a little bit, and you will just notice a bit of activation through the inner thigh, and that's primarily what we're wanting, not necessarily that it's the perfect alignment. Really nice, and I think that's fine. Just drop it back into your shell and just stay there for one final diaphragmatic breath. In this sequence, we're going to do a full body exercise, all using the exercise ball. This is a 55-centimeter ball, which is right from my height. If you're taller than me, I'm 5'5", you'll probably need a slightly larger ball. We're going to begin laying down on our back, holding the exercise ball over our chest. So you're going to hold it kind of in the center of the ball on either side, laying down on your back, making sure your pelvis is in a neutral position. You're going to take an inhale as you stretch the ball up and overhead, and then exhale as you pull underneath the armpits to draw the ball back up over your chest. So I want you to get a sense, it's almost like you have strings attached to your armpits pulling down towards your hips to help initiate pulling the ball back up over your chest. On the inhale, you're going to focus on stretching the ball up overhead without allowing the ribs to lift, so they're not flaring up and forward. So you're not feeling a big arch between your mid-back and the floor. Last one here, nice big inhale, controlling the ribs, and exhale, bring the ball back up over your chest. Adding in the ab breath to this movement. So we're going to go ball up overhead, stay here for an inhale. On the exhale, start to lift the ball, lengthen through the back of the neck, and sequence up through the spine, reaching the ball up over towards the knees. Holding for an inhale, and then start to bring the ball back up overhead to add weight and resistance to your ab prep, and then with control, articulate back down. Inhale, holding the ball up overhead. Exhale, start lifting the ball, lengthening through the back of the neck, flex up, and hold for an inhale. And exhale to sequence back down, releasing the ball back up overhead. Inhale. Exhale, lift and flex. Hold for your inhale. Exhale, lifting the ball and sequencing to roll down. Last one. And flex. Hold for your inhale. And articulate and roll down, finishing with the ball just up over your chest. Pressing your pelvis into the mat in a neutral position, and then floating one leg at a time up to tabletop, squeezing the inner thighs together so the knees completely together here. We're going to do a spine twist, also a torso twist, called a torso twist. You're going to reach the ball off to one side of your body, and then allow your knees to counter release to the opposite side. You're going to stay here for a breath. And then start to pull the legs back up to the start position, and then bring the ball back up over your chest. Inhale at the top. Exhale, opening the ball to one side and then slowly releasing through the knees. Hold for an inhalation. Bring the knees back up to the start position by bracing through your abdominals. You'll notice that you have to really start, initiate the exhale, move the legs first, and then bring the ball back to the start position. Inhale at the top. Exhale to rotate. Inhale to stay. Exhale to brace, bring the legs back, and bring the ball back up over your chest. From there, you're going to release the feet down. Use the ball and a leg to help rock yourself up to place the ball at the end of the mat, and then lay back down so you can place your feet up and over the ball. We're going to begin just with a basic hip lift. So you want to keep your pelvis in neutral, hands can be down by your sides, pressing the shoulders down away from the ears. You're going to lift the pelvis to hover just a few inches from the mat, and then release it back down. Make sure you initiate by squeezing your hips a little bit first, or squeezing your buttocks, so that when you lift, you don't feel too much hamstring connection, which can sort of derail this exercise sometimes. We're just going to do one more, just lifting up into that couple of inches of hover. And then we're going to add a hamstring curl. So you're going to lift into the hover position, press the legs out to straight, holding the hips at the same height, pull the ball back in, and release the hips down. Again, lift to the hover, keep the shoulders down, extend the legs to straight, hold the hips stable as you pull the ball back in, and release the hips down. Two more. Lift and straighten. Pull back in and release. Last one. Lift and straighten. Pull back in and release back down. We're going to go through a hip roll now, so we're going to initiate by articulating the spine. Inhale to prepare. Exhale to curl through the pelvis, start articulating through the spine, lifting through the hips and getting maximal height now with the hips. So trying to make a pretty straight line from your shoulders out through your knees. Hold for an inhale at the top. And exhale, press the chest away and slowly articulate all the way back down. We'll do two more. Inhale. Exhale, curl through the pelvis, articulate up through the spine, squeezing the glutes at the top, not letting the knees flare wide. Press the knees away and lift the hips, and articulate and roll back down, releasing the pelvis at the bottom. One more time. Curl through the pelvis, articulate through the spine, lifting up nice and high. Inhale to stay. And exhale, press the chest away, slowly rolling down. And pressing all the way out. From there, we're going to press our legs to straight. Make sure our feet are just hip width apart still. And then laterally rotate it. Okay, so we're spiraling the thighs out to the sides. We're going to squeeze our buttocks and lift up into our high bridge position. So you're basically making a straight line now throughout your entire body. You're going to pull your knees nice and wide as you pull the ball in. Still sort of a hamstring curl, but in this wide laterally rotated position. You're going to feel a nice stretch through your inner thigh. Maintain the height of the hips as you press the legs back to straight, really squeezing your bum at the end of the range here. Opening the knees as you pull the ball in. And press the ball away. Two more times. Maintaining the height of the hips. Open the knees, stretching through the inner thigh. Pressing the ball away. One last time. Pull the ball in and open. And press the ball away. And lowering the hips down. All right, from there, we're going to bring the ball back to our body. I'm just going to pick it up with my feet. You can do that too. Toss it back to yourself. Holding the ball up over your chest. We're going to do a dead bug series. So you're going to inhale to prepare. Exhale, brace. Press your pelvis into the floor and lift one leg at a time up to tabletop. You're then going to lower the ball onto the fronts of your thighs. And then walk your hands around until you can place your forearms on the front of the ball. Packing the shoulder blades down so you feel that connection underneath your armpits. So you're going to immediately notice your can brace, your core really turn on, and it might be a little bit shaky here in this position. Right now, as you're just holding here, I want you to think of holding the tension through your abdominals. It's like a 2 or a 3 out of 10. So you're not putting a lot of pressure in the ball, and you're feeling your abdominals, but they're not turned on maximally, okay? You can take a nice big breath, and then you're gonna press into the ball with your upper body, resisting with your legs. This is now more challenging. Let's call this a 5 or a 6 out of 10, and then inhale to relax. And then exhale, press as hard as you can, make it a 10 out of 10 on the next exhale, and inhale, relax. Exhale, 5 or a 6 out of 10, and relax. And now, 10 out of 10, really press into that ball, drive the shoulders down away from the ears, and relax. One more time, take it to a 5 or a 6 out of 10, and relax. And 10 out of 10. And relax, taking up the ball and releasing one foot at a time back down onto the mat. We just need a little break here. But we are going to return back to the dead bug exercise, and we're going to do overhead reaching. So for upper body range of motion, We're going to do it 5 reaches on either side, with as the arm comes up overhead, not allowing the ribs to pop. So we're keeping that good connection through the back of the ribs onto the floor, as well as trying to maintain a 5 out of 10 the whole time, okay? So you're gonna hold the ball, take a breath, brace, lift one leg at a time to tabletop. Place the ball up against the thighs and the forearms on the ball. Take it to a 5 out of 10 and pack the shoulders down. Here we go. Exhale as you reach up overhead, controlling the ribs, trying to touch the floor if you can, and return, press, so that you have good connection, because it's just a single arm now, holding onto that ball. So you've got to keep pressing, or even better, pulling down underneath the armpit to hold onto the ball. This is 3 of 5. Every time I'm inhaling, I'm trying to stretch my diaphragm to improve the integrity of my pop-can brace. There we go, grabbing a hold of the ball and releasing the feet down. We're going to rock ourselves to come back up again. And we're just going to sit back into our L-sit position for a nice little L-sit stretch here. Like spine stretch forward, but we're going to use the ball to facilitate activating our abdominals to make our spine stretch forward more active. So you're going to just place your hands up over top of the ball, sitting up nice and tall, looking straight ahead. Inhale to lengthen, activate the legs, press into the ball, and keep pressing it. As you press and reach all the way down towards your toes. Really reach to your toes. Take an inhale, and pull the ball back towards you so you come up to sitting up nice and tall. Inhale at the top. Exhale, press into the ball. Flex forward, reach for the toes, hold for a breath. And pull the ball back in and sit up nice and tall. One more time, inhale. Press into the ball, drop the chin, flex and roll forward. Keep pressing down, activate the legs, breathe into your back here. And pull the ball back towards you and sit up nice and tall. We're going to bring your legs together with a pointed ankle. Keeping the legs together, we're going to go for a diagonal chop spine twist. So we're going to take the ball low and across the body, twisting as far as we can go, and then bring it across the body and reach up and overhead. This is going to cause us to create twist, but also brace to try and maintain sitting up nice and tall as we hold the twist. 2 more. Look what you're trying to stretch to. Try and keep the inner thighs squeezing together throughout. We'll do 1 more to make 5 on one side. Return to the start position and switching sides. Inhale, reach across the body. Exhale, rotate and reach. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, looking back over your shoulder, really stretching that ball up overhead as much as you can. And returning to the start position. From there, we're going to come to toe kneeling for a little side bend stretch and some star choreography, which I love. Okay, so in the toe kneeling position, we're going to hold the ball out to one side at arm's length, so the arm is straight and placed on the top of the ball. You're going to stretch up with your free arm and then press into the ball to get a little connection under your lats. Keep pressing into the ball as you reach up and over. It's important that you stay somewhat active through the underside of your body as you try and stretch and reach through the top side of your body. Hold for an inhale, get the ribs to flare with the breath. And return to the start position. Let's do 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, reach up and over. Keep your body facing forward. Pulse your hips, make sure they're square and facing forward as well. And return. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale to reach over. Inhale to stay. And exhale to return. Let's go 3 to the other side. Just roll that ball over. And rock and roll. Reach up. Press into the ball. Connect underneath the armpit. Reach up and over. Get the ribs to flare with the breath. Hold for an inhale. And exhale to return. Inhale to reach up. Press down, set that shoulder blade down as you reach up and over, stay active, pressing into the ball. Use the breath to stretch the ribs and return 1 more time. Reach it up Press and reach over. Inhale. And exhale to return. Okay, we're going to go back to the original side and move on to our star choreography. So now we're going to extend the leg out to straight that was furthest away from the ball. Okay, we're going to begin with just our side bend stretch. So we reach up. You're going to press into the ball and reach into a nice long line. This time you're thinking of stretching your toes away from you as you reach out through your fingertips. It's a slightly different stretch. You're going to feel it in your hips. And then return to the stop position. Inhale and reach up. Exhale, stretch and reach over. Inhale to stay. Exhale to return. We're going to add rotation in the upper body. It's inhale, reach up. Exhale to reach over. And then rotate at the end of the range. So you're looking down at your hip and you're diving forward with your top hand. Open back up into forward facing. And then return to the stop position. We reach up. We reach over and rotate and flex. Return to facing forward and return, adding a side leg lift. We go up and we reach over. This time as you reach over, we're gonna lift the top leg. You're gonna flex the foot and try and sweep the leg forward. Then you're gonna point the toe, bring it back. Reach it back behind you as you rotate forward just like we practice, bending the back knee as you do. Return back to the stop position. And your upper body comes up as your leg goes down. Again, inhale, reach up. Exhale, reaching up and over. Lifting the free leg. Kicking it forward. Trying to stay lifted through your bottom hip. Bring it back to the stop position, bend it, kick it back behind you so you rotate and flex. Return to the stop position with your top leg lifted and come on up. We'll switch to the other side and go from the top. So we're extending one leg out to the side, starting with just our basic style of like extended side bend. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach up and over, reaching out through the tips of your toes as well as through your fingertips. Hold for a breath. And return to the stop position. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach over. Inhale to stay. Exhale to return, adding the side leg lift. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to reach over, lifting the top leg. Inhale to stay. Exhale, lower and return, adding rotation. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach up and over, lifting the side leg, sweeping it forward, pulling it back to the stop position, bending the knee, rotating, flexing, looking towards your hip. Return to the stop position, square facing forward, and return. We go again. Inhale. Exhale. Sweep that leg forward, bring it back to the stop position, bend the knee, kick it back behind you, rotate, look to your hip and flex, return to the stop position, and come on up. From here, we're going to turn to face our bowl and place our forearms on the bowl. So you're going to make a triangle with the forearms intercrossing the hands. Turn to square face your bowl, set your shoulder blades down, turn your toes under. Inhale to prepare. Nice neutral spine, lift into your hover position and hold for 3, for 2, for 1, and lower. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale to prepare, set the shoulder blades down, and exhale to lift and hold for 3, for 2, for 1, and lower. We have 1 to go. Inhale, exhale, brace, and lift for 3, for 2, for 1, and lower the knees down. I'm going to come to standing behind the bowl just for a basic cat stretch. So help yourself up, feet are hip width apart, just holding the bowl out in front of you. Okay. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, drop your chin slightly, start to round through the spine and just press the bowl away and work on keeping your weight a little bit in your forefoot more so than your heels. And press that ball out in front of you. In this supported position, you should be able to find a really nice stretch through the back of your body. Inhale, breathe into your back. And then lift your chest and return to a flat back position. I'm going to start my ball a little further away. Inhale. Exhale, drop your chin, round through your spine, flex and stretch that ball up overhead. Inhale into your back. Look up and pull that ball in towards you one more time. Drop your chin, flex, round through the spine. Keep the weight forward, press that ball up overhead. Stay for a breath. Look up and pull that ball back in towards you, taking a hold of the ball and bringing it up in front of you. I'm going to stay side facing so you can see the position of my hips and spine throughout this next series. We're going to begin just with a basic hip hinge. So we're going to hold the ball on our body. We're almost going to hug it like we're hugging a tree. Feet are straight and hip width apart. You're going to begin just by lowering the upper body, simultaneously hinging at the hips, rotating the pelvis as if you're lifting your sitting bones up to the sky. Keeping a nice flat back and active spine. And then drive through the hips to return to the stop position. You can do that 2 more times. Lowering through the hinge, keeping the back nice and flat. Hold at the end of the range, really straighten the legs if you can. And drive through the hips to return. Do that 1 more time. Looking down the horizon at the floor, setting the shoulder blades down, slowly lowering. Keep the weight evenly distributed between your heel and forefoot. Hold at the end of the range. And return. We're going to do the same with the staggered stance 2 times. So you're going to take one leg and just offset it behind you. Your heel is lifted and your knee is bent. So most of your weight is in your front straight leg. You're hinging forward now through a single leg. You have 90% of your weight in that one leg. Hinging down, hold the position, and return. 1 more time. Hinge forward, lifting your tailbone like you're lifting your hips to the sky, keeping that front leg very straight, and return, switching sides. So switch weight into the other side, come into your staggered leg stance, weight is evenly distributed between your heel and forefoot, hinging at the hips and lowering the chest at a simultaneous rate. You're lifting the hips to the sky as you hinge forward, drive through the hips to return. 1 more. Hinging forward, and squeeze the buttocks, drive the hips forward to return. We're going to hold on to the middle of the ball again. This time, as we go into our 2-legged hip hinge, we're going to reach the ball up overhead. So we're having to use our spinal extensors in a much stronger way. So you're going to simultaneously lower yourself to the floor in a hip hinge, but stretch the ball overhead until it's reaching out over the crown of your head and you're looking directly at the floor. Drive through the hips to return to the stop position. Take a breath. Hinge forward, reach that ball up and overhead. My weight is still even in my heel and forefoot. And then drive through the hips to return. 1 more time. Hinge and reach that ball. And drive through the hips to return. We're going to do that same movement pattern now with the upper body, but in our lower body, we're going to go for a deep lunge. We're going to come to stand at the front edge of the mat. Okay, now simultaneously, you're going to reach back with one leg as you pivot over your front leg, take the ball up and overhead, stabilizing through the front leg, and then return to the stop position. You're going to reach one leg back into the deep lunge. Your upper body lowers until you're almost resting on your thigh, and drive through your hip to return. 2 more times. Reach back, hinge forward, and return. So it's like you're doing a deadlift position with this front leg, like a deadlift style squat through the front leg. Other side. Okay, feet together. Reach back, the back leg stays straight. The front leg really bends, and you hinge through that front hip. 2 more times. Last one. Woo! And return. To finish this series, we're just going to focus on making a nice long stretch through our entire body. So you're going to stand with the feet hip width apart, and you're just going to stretch the ball up and overhead, taking a really nice long lengthening breath, and slowly lowering the ball back down in front of you. Inhale, stretch up, and And exhale to lower. One more time. Inhale. And that completes this series.